everyone, we're here and back to talk about relationships. And so, the point that I'd like to discuss today is the point of redefining words and why it is so important to redefine words for oneself, but especially in one's relationship. So, my partner and I are both walking the agreement course that is a part of the Desteni I Process courses, and it's an online course for relationships. And it is designed, it's actually really cool because it's designed so that one can walk the course whether you're in a relationship or whether you're not in a relationship, and whether you are, like, your partner is working with you in the course or not. So it is quite cool set up so that it basically fits everyone who would like to educate themselves and become effective at living in relationships. And so the assignment that we're busy with right now is this assignment where we are to redefine words. And so why this is important is because when we are together, and this is for everyone, but especially in a relationship of two people, and we have conversations and we have arguments or discussions, and points come up where we have differences of opinion, for example. Often what happens is, or why there will be these misunderstandings or differences of opinion, will be because each partners have a different relationship to a particular word or a particular word setting or a sentence or an expression. And so, or it can also be that one of the partners have a energetically loaded relationship to a particular word. So let's say, for example, it could be the word commitment. And me and my partner each have a relationship to that word. And it could be that one partner, for example, has a relationship to the word commitment where it is something that they have actively avoided. Perhaps when they were growing up, they constantly heard their parents saying, "You must make a commitment. You must commit yourself to something in life, son." And every time he heard that word or she heard that word, they would just become frustrated and feel pressured and feel like they were trapped and that they couldn't do what they want to do. And so when they grew up and became adults, they would just actively avoid that word. And every time they hear the word, they just like, I don't want to do that. And it is, for the most part, subconscious. It's not something that we walk around and think about, that we have relationships to words. It is simply an instantaneous reaction that we're not really in any way in control over. And so let's say that the other partner has a completely different relationship to that word, that it is something that they desired. And let's say that when they grew up, they had a parent that was very uncommitted, and a parent that didn't show up for school functions or parent meetings. And so this person has created a desire for commitment because of their relationship with their parents, where they then, as they go into the relationship with their partner in their adult life, they have this expectation and fantasy about, now we're going to be in a commitment. And so if we imagine that these two partners are having a discussion, and let's say that partner A is the one that desire for a commitment, and partner B is the one that resists commitment. And then partner A says, "Why aren't you committed to this relationship?" And then partner B will go into a huge reaction of resistance and maybe resentment and blame, because this triggers a memory of when partner B was young and his parents or her parents would say this to them. And so partner A doesn't know that this is what partner B has in his bag or in his relationship or her relationship to the word commitment, and vice versa. And so they will go into a fight or an argument, or they will have a misunderstanding between them simply because they don't realize or know that they have a different definition of the word commitment, but even more so that they have a energized relationship to the word. For one person it is a positive word, and for the other person it is a negative word. And then vice versa, it can turn into positive or negative experiences, meaning that if the person who resists commitment then get to go out of a commitment or not have to be in a commitment, then they perhaps feel more free and independent. And if the other person then experiences that their partner doesn't live up to the commitment, they will then have a negative experience because their desire or fantasy about what a commitment is not being fulfilled. And so what one can do with oneself in general and in a relationship with a committed partner or an agreement partner is to actually sit down and look at words and redefine them. Or if words come up or points come up during one's daily living, to ask each other and to ask oneself and to investigate, what is my relationship with this word? And then what is so cool about the Desteni I process and what we're doing in the agreement course, for example, is that we're taking it one step further and saying, okay, it's not practical or effective for me in my own life or for us in this relationship that I have this relationship to the word commitment. If we say that we take partner A as an example. So I was disappointed with my parents when I was a child that they didn't live up to the commitment that I wanted them to have. But now, it's a completely different situation. I'm here with myself, I'm here with you, and I'm basically reliving memories that aren't here anymore. Plus that I took something personally and experienced myself as being betrayed or not being cared for, instead of realizing that the fact that my parent doesn't commit themselves has nothing to do with me or my ability to make commitments. And so what we can do is that we can redefine these words together. It is actually suggested to do this with all words, and that we all as humanity eventually do this together, so that the word commitment no longer has a positive or a negative energetic charge, that it doesn't have a definition that is related to my personal experiences, but that we can come together and agree on a practical, physical, real life definition. So we will, for example, sit down and discuss the word commitment, how we have lived it, and look at, well, what is this word? What does it mean? What has it meant in the world system? What is the sounding of the word commitment? Come with me. Come with mint. Like, then play with the sounding of the word. And then the two partners, or one can for oneself, look at how can I actually redefine this word into a practical definition. So it could, for example, be commitment is to dedicate myself to walk a decision through until it is done. Like, commitments is to stick to the decisions that I have made. If we say that this is the decision that, or this is the definition that I agree upon with myself, or this is the definition that I agree upon with my partner, then we have created a new definition of the word. One could say actually an upgraded definition, where the word, the way that it can be lived is practical, it is simplistic, it is commonsensical, it's easy to understand, it's not more than or less than what I'm capable of. And from then on, I can now continue with my life living this word in a different way. And so this sentence of why aren't you committed, it wouldn't come up, because that question was asked from a starting point of blame and resentment and memories. And instead one would look at one's own relationship to commitment. And so come together in the relationship and have an agreement as this is how we will live this word with ourselves and together. And so I am very grateful for this course, and it's a lot of fun. It's also a lot of hard work, and it's especially quite intense when these points come up where my partner and I have different definitions. But it's also interesting to see how, you know, because we walk around speaking and saying words and writing words without realizing that there's an entire backstory in our own life to this word. There can even be entire world system backstories. It could be the word Hitler, for example, or the word race, that has like very long and painful history in the world system. And so we don't realize that that's what we bring into our conversations and with our interaction with other people. And this has the effect that one become able to understand oneself a lot better, as well as one's partner, when we can discuss, okay, so that's why you react to that word, or that's the story. Okay, but then I know that, you know, so if we have that argument again and the one partner react, then the other partner understands there's a backstory to this point that requires to be released, and we can redefine it together. So I will place a link to the course, the agreement course, in the description box below, and I will also place a link to a really cool blog series written by Earth's Journey to Life that describes the steps of how to redefine words, and that goes a little bit more into depth with what it means to redefine words. So enjoy, and let's redefine all words that are here, so that we can, everyone, live practically, physically together in a way that is commonsensical and effective for everyone. Bye.